The 2024 matric results will be published in newspapers on Tuesday. A short while ago, the Pretoria High Court struck off the roll the urgent application of the Information Regulator. The IR approached the court on an urgent basis, challenging the publication of the 2024 matric results. The regulator argued that the publication of the results in newspapers violates the Protection of Personal Information Act. The urgent matter was heard in the North Gauteng High Court in Pretoria, where Judge Ronel Tolmay ruled that there was no urgency in the matter.
The present manner of publication has been followed for at least 3 consecutive years. Why should this year be treated differently? I therefore conclude that the matter is not urgent and should be struck from the roll. I make the following order. The application is struck from the roll due to lack of urgency. The applicant is ordered to pay the costs of the first to the 5th respondents. The costs to include costs of 2 counsel where applicable on Scale C.
For more on the story, we cross to SABC News reporter Patricia Fesage. Patricia, welcome to On Point. And on Tuesday, the tradition continues. Tell us more about what happened in court this morning.
Well, Diabo, good afternoon to you and to our viewers. Definitely, I think a win for the Department of Basic Education and the other parties who supported their stance of having the matric results, the class of 2024 matric results, be released in newspapers as per tradition. And yesterday we heard the arguments back and forth and delving into the premise of urgency. Why did the regulator wait for so long before ultimately bringing the matter to court, in particular when they know that there was a standing and a binding order that was issued in 2022 January, and since then not much movement was made legally, and the Department of Basic Education made it very clear that they're going ahead with the traditional method and they are resting on the shoulders of that particular order. AfriForum also saying that only a court of law can ultimately overturn that order, and that's why they brought, they actually welcomed the urgent application to seek an interdict, saying that let the court decide what's the lawful way of releasing the matric results. Then the issue around the enforcement order that was only released or rather issued to the department mid-November. Judge Tolmay saying that, but the regulator had about 10 months to deal with that. Why did they wait until about 2 weeks, 3 weeks before the matric results would be released? They were gambling with time. Yesterday we heard the senior counsel for the Department of Basic Education, and that is Marius Oosthuizen, who really went into that particular aspect very strongly, saying that the regulator just did not take the 2022 order seriously, and now they want to throw around their weight, and they using the Poppy Act, which is fairly new in the country. They're using that to sort of bully the Department of Basic Education, put them in a corner and not to do things the correct way. But I want to bring in another role player, and that is the media. They also brought an application, or rather they also joined this particular court order. You would understand that the matric results are released in the media, in newspapers in particular. Marula Media was also part of this court bid, and I just want to bring in that particular aspect. Elaine Krieger joins me right now. You're also very happy that this particular order is in your favor. Tradition prevails. But for the media, it's about media freedom. It's about the preparations that a lot of media houses made to make sure that the matric results are released successfully.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, this is a victory for, as you said, media freedom and also access to information for those learners that will not be able to go to their school on Tuesday. As the judge noted, the timing of the IR's notification was it was terrible. We already had all systems in place, websites needed to be built, advertisements sourced, which is really important for this type of content. Advertisers pay to advertise for the matric, or, on the same website as the matric results. So just if we weren't able to
losing that revenue, knowing how under pressure the media is financially as well.
Absolutely, yes. We all know it's no secret that the media struggle struggling and they really need that advertising. So especially print media, we are an online platform, so we publish it digitally, but especially the online, the print media really need this at this stage.
Moving forward, as a media house, as a part of the ambassadors that are pro-public interest and media freedom really, and access to information, what would you see moving forward? We've heard AfriForum saying that they hope that there can be a proper legal platform where the merits of the case can be delved into properly. Basic Education also coming in with the very same argument, so that we can once and for all close this chapter. We don't have a repeat of history again, perhaps end of this year or beginning of next year.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't want to see time and money wasted on court cases, urgent court cases. We just want to reserve the right to publish the matric results year on year, so that our readers can have access to that information.
All right, thank you so much. Ilana Kricha here from Marula Media. They also joined this court case as friends of the court, supporting the Department of Basic Education and AfriForum, and they also welcoming the court judgment, saying that there was no urgency. If the regulator wanted change, they should have acted much earlier, much swiftly, and not wait on the 11th hour. And then that enforcement order that came in November, when they actually had about 10 months to issue that enforcement order. Why did they wait for so long? And just moving forward, will they this time around prepare better if they want the POPI Act to be respected? As we know, it is constitutionally binding and it has to obviously be respected, and government in particular has to lead on that front, but you cannot leave things to chance and then at the 11th hour expect everybody to make the change. Ilana also touching on the point that Judge Tolmay touched on yesterday during the arguments, and that is the possibility that learners in the rural areas, far-flung areas, might be prejudiced. They might be disadvantaged if this change comes a week before, parents who did not make those necessary preparations. So there's a lot at stake that the regulator did not think about when they brought this application at the 11th hour. But I think the long and the short is no change. Tradition prevails. Next week, the class of 2024 can expect their results the way that we've all received it over the years, and that's in the newspapers.
Thanks so much, Patricia Fisachi. Thank you very much, Patricia Fisachi, out there in Pretoria. And as she says, next week, Tuesday, tradition prevails, and the learners of 2024 will be able to see the results from newspapers. They'll be able to buy those newspapers and check for their names.